So, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self to Well with Tactics podcast. Today we're gonna talk about Coronasomnia, which is like, I think you know what it is. I mean, feeling bad and or in terms of sleep as well because of Corona. Apparently, this is a case, or this is the case for some people. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, it is actually not something that is bothering me too much at that point in time. The whole the whole pandemic thing is a fucked up thing. You know, I'm not gonna lie. It is pissing me off because of certain reasons. But I am tremendously fortunate that I can still work just as I've been working before. You know, even though I've just started this type of work, this social work thingy thing, only in the pandemic. So it's like, I'm used to it and it is what it is because, you know, in the back you can see, the uniform. I'm just working anyways. There's not like, I got laid off. There's nothing like, okay, I'm only able to work like, 5 hours, whatever the fuck this is called in English. I don't know. And we're gonna see. Curing coronasomnia, 4 tips from neuroscience. Allow sleep to be the constant in an ever-changing world. By Christine C. Kieny, Psy-D, or Psy-D. Is it like doctor in psychology? I guess so. Or PhD in psychology. Well, I don't know. Anyway, COVID-19 has affected all aspects of our lives, especially our sleep. Clinically, insomnia has seen a significant rise since the pandemic began, and it is expected to continue. Although we are well aware of how important sleep is, it is often one of the first things we neglect, especially in times of uncertainty. Even if we are only facing sleep deprivation, it can still cause unwanted changes in our brain's health. Yeah, and I've seen that, and still seeing that. Especially, last week, I'm still exhausted because of last week because I haven't been sleeping as much as I needed to the whole fucking last week, which is not smart at all. You know, it's not something that anybody should be doing. But yeah, anyway, the brain is the control center for everything we do and is the most vital organ in the body. It controls movement, circulation, heart rate, temperature, and many other bodily functions. It is also responsible for learning, so memory, how you pay attention, and how you receive and process information, which I think is also very important to point out because if you're getting angry very, very easily, it might be due to you being too tired and not sleeping enough, for example. Sleep is the foundation of brain health, and without it, we can compromise all of the functions it performs daily. The pandemic's changes to our daily life may affect our ability to get our best sleep. You may not be getting your usual amount of exercise because gyms are closed or are not as easily accessible. Even if the gym is not a part of your weekly routine, you may be moving around less due to staying at home most, if not all, of the day. When the body is less physically active, it may not feel ready to sleep at its usual time, which I've actually seen as well, which is one of the reasons why on my quote-unquote rest days, I'm still doing something. I'm still just doing cardio and so on so that I can sleep. Because it's really something that pisses me off if I can't sleep, you know, when I want to get to sleep, which is also one of the cool things when you're so sleep deprived that you're just falling asleep immediately, even though, it's due to just really bad conditions. But anyway, you may also be moving around less due to having fewer social interactions and activities. A lack of social interactions means you may not be receiving the mental stimulation and meaningful connections that come with them. Lack of mental stimulation and emotional connectivity can lead to difficulty relaxing and quieting your brain when trying to go to bed. Something that I've seen as well is that if I'm having a week of not working that much and or not being that, it's actually on a daily basis, but also on a weekly basis. When I'm not that productive, I feel really bad for relaxing and not doing anything as well. And just really having this one day on which I'm just not even trying to do as much as on the other days, which, is fucked up. But anyway. Routines are increasingly hard to follow with ever-changing regulations necessary to meet the novel pandemic's needs. Many of us are getting out of bed later, getting into bed earlier, or not even entirely changing out of our pajamas. Even video calls can only see from our waist up. Even video calls can only see from our waist up. This distribution to a routine impacts the sleep schedule that is crucial to getting your best sleep. The key is to make sure you're getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night, 6 to 8 consecutive hours of sleep. Waking up throughout the night interrupts vital sleep cycles that help your brain restore and recover from the day before. If you're not getting enough sleep, consider altering your sleep behaviors, beginning with these 4 tips from neuroscience. Let's see. The first one is stay in tune with your body's natural rhythm. Melatonin, a chemical released from the pineal gland that lies deep inside your brain, helps make you feel relaxed and drowsy and fall asleep. Your pineal gland releases melatonin in its rhythm over a 24-hour period. Melatonin is naturally low in the daytime and rises during the evening. Be aware of your natural drowsiness as you prepare for bed. How many times have you stayed up later than intended, binging the rest of the season or answering emails? When you stay up late, you can miss your body's natural sleep cues and have trouble falling asleep later. The lack of schedule can significantly disrupt your body's biological signals. If your bedtime routine is almost non-existent, getting home from work, brushing your teeth, getting into pajamas, you can miss natural sleep cues altogether, and that feeling of sleepiness may never come. Establish a new routine that works and stick to it, so when that melatonin wave comes, all you have to do is jump on. I think a really good advice, or really good piece of advice, it happened to me as well. And the thing is, I think we often think that, okay, I just need to do this, and because we need to get done things, because we think that tomorrow is going to be late, even though it is not. And at least it is something that I'm often misjudging, like how fast I can be when I'm well rested, and not in a hurry and not stressed out and not just entirely tired. And the second point, put away all screens 60 minutes before you go to bed. I'm sorry. If you're having difficulty falling asleep, the culprit may be your screen time habits before going to bed. Most Americans are spending most of their day in front of a screen. These screens can emit high levels of blue light rays that suppress your pineal gland, affecting melatonin production. Since artificial light throws off your brain's natural ability to drift off to sleep, you will want to turn off all screens 1 hour before you slumber. That includes checking even one tweet or text message. You might want to turn off your notifications altogether so you're not even tempted to pick up and check your phone. It is, by the way, something that I'm quote-unquote naturally doing by meditating, because when I'm meditating, I'm obviously not looking at my fucking screen. And I'm doing it for, between 10 and 30 minutes. It depends on how well I've structured my day quite. And I think that it is also helping with this kind of thing. So it in general helps me falling asleep, just because I think it is a routine. And my body knows, okay, after I've meditated, I'm now going to go to sleep, just because I'm always doing that. And on the other hand, as I said, I think it is also, or maybe probably due to me not just having a screen in front of my fucking face all the time. Even though I'm checking some messages sometimes after I've meditated, but that's not that of a big problem most often. So yeah. Switch things up with a new bedtime routine, which is the next point, the third one out of 4. Many of us are having a hard time pulling themselves away from the computer and stepping away from work or school. The lines between home and work, school life are almost non-existent today. If you're replying to emails or reading or even engaging in intense conversations, which we often save for right before bed, the cognitive activity can keep you awake. Make sure you have a set end time of your work or school day, and do not let it linger into your bedtime routine. Instead, switch things up during the latter part of your evening. Do something that helps you relax and is safe. Just for bedtime. Set yourself up to catch that melatonin wave when it arises and ride it to sleep. On the other hand, you could also just take melatonin. Just another thought. Even though I do not necessarily think that it is the most healthy thing to do, but if you just really are unable to fall asleep, and if it is just impacting your overall health, then yeah, it might just be better, I guess. The fourth, be mindful when waking and going to sleep. The ultimate cause of sleep problem is the inability to turn off your thinking just before you go to sleep. Many Americans live more solitary lives due to the pandemic and are not having a chance to engage with others, such as getting together with friends and conversing, which helps alleviate mental strain that we often feel right before we go to bed. Be mindful of the time when you transition from being awake to sleep. Before you go to bed, slow it down by sitting on the edge of your bed and take time to notice your breathing. When you lie down, continue to pay attention to your breathing until you fade to sleep. If you still have difficulty falling asleep, consider the simple grounding exercise. This simple grounding exercise. Slowly think of 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Then return your attention to your breathing. When waking up, set yourself up for the day by taking 5 minutes just before you get out of bed every day to simply breathe and think about your intentions for the day. A stressful start to the day can end in a sleepless night. Research shows that you have the highest level of stress hormones in your body when you first wake up, which I think really makes sense. You know, your body is just booting up. It is making yourself ready for the day. And I mean, like many years ago, it's been, I think, not that uncommon to wake up and there's a fucking bear in front of your fucking face trying to kill you. And so I think it makes sense to, just because of all the senses and all the aspects of life, you know, seeing, tasting, hearing, all of these things, all these inputs actually that our brain has to kind of deal with. I think it just really makes sense that it is relatively difficult for the body to wake up without any stress, you know, because there's so much input that needs to be stressed. Allow sleep to be the constant you may need in your life. Even if everything in the world is changing daily, allow your sleep schedule to remain the same. Your brain will thank you. And I would say this as well, and something that I've done is trying to cut some weight, trying to get into better shape again. And this goal of doing that, and this thing that I'm constantly thinking about, just because when you're hungry, the only fucking thing that you're thinking about is motherfucking food, then it also gave me a goal, you know, which is pretty cool and pretty amazing, because, you know, now I'm having this goal of, okay, I'm gonna get into better shape, and I'm doing this the whole week long. And I think on Saturday I'm gonna have my first quote-unquote cheat day in quite some while. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to feeling so sick afterwards that it's not even cool anymore, and actually fucking my physique for the next few weeks. Which, by the way, if you're interested in that, I think it's been the worst thing for me to start, you know, to have a scheduled cheat day every single week on Saturday, just because I've eaten so much that it fucked up my whole system, even getting ill because of it. Because of whatever reason, I actually don't know why, but fucking my whole system and actually really getting out of shape because of that, just because my weekly calorie intake was then so high. You know, I might actually be calculating it on Saturday if I'm doing it. But I think I will, just as a way to relax. I think it's even bad weather on Saturday, which is actually quite amazing for me, just because I don't feel forced to go out and shit. And yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the episode there. So I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being remembered as a good person. 3 other questions that I have you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change, and what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions hopefully gonna show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a pretty fucking cool thing as well, I would say. One last idea that I'm having for you is, what could you essentially say to another person that is indeed going to change their life? Because I totally believe that we all can say something, and we all can communicate something that is indeed going to change somebody's life. Yeah. With that being said, I'm going to wish you the best. Please stay safe and take care of yourself, your family members, and all of your loved ones. And so, bye-bye.